Hi everyone, welcome to Chair Yoga. My name's Claire and today we'll be doing a 45-minute practice, and sometimes in my chair yoga classes we do some standing postures as well, but today we're just going to do the whole sequence on our chair. So you'll need a sturdy chair without arms, so a kitchen chair usually works quite well. And you'll need some blocks, and if you don't have blocks you can use just a pile of sturdy books, and that's just to pop underneath your feet so that you can adjust the height so your legs are at a right angle. But if you've got a bit of a lower chair than usual and your feet sit comfortably flat on the floor, then you can do that as well. You won't need the blocks. Also, you will need a strap. Or if you don't have a strap, just get a pair of stretchy pants or a broomstick, or just something that you can put a bit of tension on, and grab a bolster. Or you can substitute that with a pile of pillows. So just 2 or 3 pillows from the bedroom will do really nicely as well. So let's start just by grounding down through the sit bones and finding a nice posture. We're drawing up through the crown of the head and just lengthening up through the spine slightly. Draw the shoulders back and down, and then we'll just rest the hands on the thighs and close our eyes. And we'll just start with a little body scan, starting at the top of our head, moving all the way down to our toes. Just slowly we'll bring our attention through the muscles of the face, just starting by relaxing the forehead, the brows, the cheeks, the chin, the lips, allowing all those little muscles of the face to soften. And then scanning your attention down your neck, through your shoulders, pausing at any spot where you're feeling any sort of resistance or tension, and just using your internal focus to start smoothing everything out. And then bringing your attention down your arms, and just visualize and try to smooth out and allow all of those little muscles to settle all the way down to the fingertips. Bring your awareness down through your torso. Paying particular attention to those areas that are holding on to any sort of tension. And just seeing if you can use your internal focus to smooth everything out. Keep scanning through, down through the hips, down through the muscles of the legs, all the way down to the toes. And once we're finished, we should be feeling a lot more settled and comfortable in our seat. And we'll bring our attention to our breath. So a lot of us don't actually know this, but most of the people living in the West today are actually not breathing properly anymore. We're born automatically knowing how to breathe, but our very fast-paced, stressed lives, after a certain point, the accumulation of all the stress trains us to breathe a little bit too shallow. So through the practice of yoga, we're trying to coordinate conscious deeper breathing with movement, and then that translates into the rest of our life. And over time, with practice, we start to breathe a lot more deeply, naturally again. So that's one of the goals that we have. So first, just notice your natural breath. And then we'll slowly start to find a little bit more depth, lengthening out the inhales and the exhales. The As we get older and as so many of us forget how to breathe properly, a lot of us are breathing into our chest quite shallow. Of course, the air is going into our lungs, but the movement is happening in the chest, and that's a sign of very shallow breathing. When there's movement down in our belly, it's a sign of deeper breathing, and our diaphragm is moving a lot more dynamically. So basically, by exaggerating the rising and the falling of the belly, we can help to retrain that deeper breath. So as we tune into our breath, let's just start to exaggerate the rise and the fall of the belly as we take that long, smooth, deep inhalation. Just exaggerate the rising of the belly. Imagine it's like a balloon filling up with the inhale. And then as you exhale, the balloon contracts and the belly button folds back towards the spine. So smooth, deep inhale, and the belly expands. Exaggerate that movement. Imagine it like a balloon. And then the belly contracts, belly button falls back towards the spine with the exhale. So if you like, as you continue on, you can count the breath out in your mind, maybe breathing in for 1, 2, 3, belly expands. Breathing out for 1, 2, 3, belly contracts. Breathing in 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Now you might find that you can bring that up to 4 counts. If not, just stay with the 3 counts. That's completely okay. Even though we want to be finding a little bit more depth, we don't want it to be any sort of strain at all. So maybe there's a sense that you're stretching out the lungs and increasing that lung capacity a little bit, but there's no stress coming into the body from that. So sticking with the 3 counts or bringing it up to 4. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out for 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll continue on like that, just counting out the 3 counts in, 3 counts out, or 4 counts, and just focus on the rising and the falling of the belly. So we'll go in silence just for a couple more moments, focusing on the breath. For the next few rounds, you might find that you can increase the counts. See how that feels. And if it doesn't feel quite right, if you're feeling like you're at your deepest breath already, just stay where you are with the 3 or 4 counts. And of course, you can make those counts a little bit quicker or a little bit slower. Just molding the practice to your unique body, own personal lung capacity. And now we'll settle at the breath that is our deepest comfortable breath. And you can continue to count it out in your mind, or you can let go of the counts if you're aware of the length that is for you now. We'll just see if we can continue to train our mind to stay focused and aware and completely present with just observing the breath. Trying to create this smooth quality and depth. Maybe notice the sensation of the breath as it moves through the airways. Notice things like how there's a sense of coolness as the air travels in the nostrils, through the nasal passage, down the throat and into the lungs. And then there's a sense of warmth as it travels back up, out through the nasal passage, and then there's a sense of warmth that hits the upper lip. So we'll stay for 3 more breaths. Just observing, seeing if you can keep your attention there. And when you're ready, we'll open our eyes. So we'll try and remember to bring our deeper breath through the whole practice, because as I mentioned before, it's like we're training ourselves to breathe deeply as we move, so that then affects how we breathe in the rest of our day. But if you forget about it, don't worry too much about it. Just every time you remember, always come back to that deeper breath when you move through your practice. So we'll start with our strap or our pair of stretchy pants or a rope or whatever it is we have, or maybe a broom. And we'll just slide our hands apart and bring the arms over our head. So bring the arms as far away as they need to be, or you might find that you're comfortable bringing the arms a little bit closer together. And we'll just start by drawing the arms back as far as they can go. So we're feeling into our full range of motion. And if your arms are here, that's completely fine. And we'll just stay for 3 deep breaths, feeling into that end range of motion. 3 more breaths here. One more breath. And then we'll continue to explore that range of motion, and we're just going to bring our arms over to the side. Keep pushing the arms as far back as they can go. And then circling, pressing the arms back as far as they can go over to the other side. And we'll just go a couple of times from side to side. And as I mentioned before, even if your arms are here, that's completely fine. If your arms are further apart, that's completely fine. We're just using it as a tool to explore the range of motion in our shoulder joints. And releasing the strap down to the floor. Give the arms a little bit of a shake out. And let's start with some head circles. So chin drops down to the chest, and we're just going to roll the right ear to the right shoulder. We feel a bit of a stretch through the side of the neck. Drop the chin down to the chest, left ear to left shoulder. So we're trying to coordinate this movement with our breath. As we exhale, the head drops forward. And as we inhale, the ear rolls back to the shoulder. And keep going. Exhale, head drops forward. Inhale, head to shoulder. Keep moving like this. Now, if you've got any neck issues, just really listen to the sensations especially. And if there's any points in the circle that doesn't feel quite good, you can sort of lift the head a little bit more and not lean into that edge and that stretch quite as much. If your neck is feeling okay, you might like to bring the head through a little bit of a semicircle, so you're extending the back of the neck and lifting through the heart, and then you're bringing the head over to the other side, chin to chest. So we're bringing it into full circles, but we're not dropping the head all the way back. We're keeping a length in the back of the neck. We roll the head back. So full circles. So I'll just quickly show you from the side. So especially when I'm dropping back, I'm not dropping the head all the way back. I'm actually keeping quite a lot of length and keeping the neck pretty straight and just bending it back just a little bit before I bring it over to the other side. I hope you can see that. And next time the chin drops down to the chest, reverse the direction of the circles. Still coordinating the movement with the breath. Let's do 4 more in this direction. And finishing off one last round, finishing with the chin to the chest. Roll the head up through the center, and we'll bring our fingertips to our shoulders and we'll do some shoulder rolls. So as we inhale, the elbows come forward, touch them together if you can. If not, just bring them together as far as what feels comfortable for you. And then we squeeze the scapular bones back and down the spine. So there's real emphasis on the pushing back of the elbows. Inhale, elbows rolling forward and up. And exhale, squeezing the scapular bones down the spine. And we keep going, coordinating with the breath. Every exhale is when we roll the shoulders back and down. And every inhale is when we draw the elbows up. So in a lot of the more traditional Hatha yoga practices, there's often a lot of these kind of joint opening postures, especially for warming up for other postures. And they're often known as the anti-rheumatic yoga practices. And the idea is to get the synovial fluid moving around in the joints, lubricating the joints. And by moving the fluid around in the joints, we're actually moving more nutrients through the joints. And we're creating this more healthy, mobile joints. We do 2 more circles. And 1 more circle. Relaxing the arms down to the floor. And we'll just give the arms a bit of a shake if you feel like it. So let's scoot around to the side. So we're sitting this way on our chair. You can bring the blocks with you or not, your choice. And we're going to move into some spinal twisting. So start to peel the left shoulder back and bring your belly towards the back of the chair. If you can, see if you can catch onto the back of the chair with both hands, but that might be a little bit too much for some of you. So you can bring the back arm on the back of the chair and just grab onto the side of the chair with the front arm and use that as leverage to pull yourself around. So I'll just move my chair off to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm sitting on the side of my chair with the left side of my body to the back of the chair. And if my range will allow, I'm grabbing onto the back of the chair with both hands and just gently using that grip to twist myself around. So I look over my left shoulder. And the other option, if you don't quite have that range, resting my left arm on the top of the chair, my right hand is catching the side of the chair, and I'm using that as leverage to pull myself around into a twist. So take it slowly, listen to all the little signals that your body is giving you so you know exactly the point that you need to stop. Our bodies have a lot of wisdom and those signals are there for a reason. And there's a very big difference between a stretching kind of sensation or a sensation that you're working your muscles and the sort of sensations that the body gives when saying, hang on, that's too far. If you go any further, you're going to injure yourself. Stop there. Your body gives you plenty of warning before you get to that point usually. So if we're moving very slowly, you can pick up on all those little signals. We know exactly when we need to stop. Let's stay for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And releasing from the twist. Close your eyes for a moment and just feel into any sensations. Notice if anything feels different. Notice how the body feels a little bit uneven now. We've just done the one side. We'll go 1 more time on this side. So either forearm to the top of the chair, other hand catching onto the side of the chair. We lengthen through the spine and pull ourselves around into the twist that way. Or if you feel like you can go a little bit further, you can catch onto the sides of the chair with both hands and then pull yourself around. Hold for 3 deep breaths if you can. And move very, very slowly into the twist so you know exactly when you need to stop. Breathing in and exhale, just slowly release. Pause for a moment to tune into the sensations, and then we'll go to the other side. So now flipping around the other way and coming to the same version that you came into before, either arm closest to the back of the chair rests on top of the chair like this, and the other hand catches the side of the chair, and we just gently pull ourselves around. We're twisting from the base of the spine first, and then that spinal twist ripples all the way up to the top of the neck as we look over our right shoulder. If you can take it further, you grab onto the back of the chair with both hands and twist from there. Often this is quite enough. And let's hold for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And slowly release. Come back to the center. Pause for a moment, just notice how your spine's feeling. And then we'll go 1 more time. So I'll just move my chair again this way so you can see. So I'm sitting on my chair with my right side of the body to the back of the chair. And I'm either grabbing the back of the chair with both hands if I can comfortably do that, or I am resting my right forearm on the top of the chair. The left hand can catch the chair, and then we just pull ourselves around to find a comfortable spot. And if your chair is a little bit different to mine, maybe you've got a chair that's quite high or a lot lower, you can always just drop this arm by your side, or just see where it is comfortable for you to leave this arm. It doesn't really matter too much. Stay for 2 more breaths. One more deep inhale. And exhale, slowly, slowly release. And we'll just sit there for a moment. Feel how the 2 sides of the body are starting to feel a lot more even. And then when you're ready, we'll open our eyes. Okay, so I'll just move my chair to face you again. And we'll do a little bit of forward folding. And for this, we will grab onto our pillows or our bolster. So again, I've got the blocks or the stack of books underneath my feet, so the legs are at a right angle. And then I'm going to rest my pile of pillows or my bolster underneath my belly, and I'm going to start to lean forward. You can either bring your hands on top of each other and bring the elbows out so the forearms are lined up over the pillows, and just lean into that, and that might be quite enough for some of you. If you feel comfortable there, you can start to drape yourself forward and drape the arms over the bolster and drop the head down towards the floor. If that feels comfortable, you might feel like you can get rid of the pillows and the bolsters, and you can slide your hands down your shins, drop the belly into the thighs, and hang forward like this. So either here with your pile of 2 to 3 pillows, or just resting the forearms over the top. So let's stay for 5 more breaths. Try and relax all the muscles through the back and tune into the hinging that's happening at the hips. And we'll stay for 2 more breaths. One more breath. Slowly coming up. And we'll get rid of our bolster and pillows. And let's do a little flow sequence. So we inhale, arms scoop wide, and we bring them over the head. See if you can bring your hands together, or you can just keep the hands in parallel. If the arms are forward like this, that's completely fine too. Exhale, arms flow down, bring the hands to the thighs, and we fold forward. Keep the hands there for support, or if you feel comfortable sliding the hands down to the floor, then do that. Slide the hands up to the knees, we peel the shoulders back. Exhale, ripple forwards. Rolling back up. And the right arm scoops over the head. We press the left hand down into the thigh. Take a little side bend. It only needs to be very, very subtle. Or if you feel comfortable there, you can take it a little bit further. Breathing in, coming back to the center. And we come over to the other side. It can be just a very, very subtle curve, but if you feel like you can go a little bit further, then do so. Just explore your edge. Move into it really, 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 really slowly. Inhale, coming back up. Draw the elbows back, draw the hands back up the thighs, the belly button draws forward, the shoulders peel back, and there's a sense that we're opening the chest, lifting the heart to the ceiling. And slide down to the knees, lock the elbows, and the belly button draws to the back of the chair, and we round through our spine. Inhale, elbows draw back, belly button draws forward. And exhale, rounding through our back. So one more time, elbows draw forward, back, and belly button draws forward. And exhale, rounding through the back. Slide the hands back, neutral spine. And we go again. Inhale, arms scoop wide. Exhale, bringing the arms down. We're sort of carving out space and exploring our full range of motion with the arms. Hands slide to the thighs. And we start to fold forward. So either keep the hands there for support or slide the hands down as far as what feels comfortable for you. And sliding back up. Spine ripples up halfway. And exhale, ripple back down. And we're rippling back up. The right arm scoops out to the side. Left hand pressing down into the left thigh for support. Take it into a little bit of a back bend, side bend. You can take it further, then do so. And you can come up through the center, or if it feels okay, you can circle the arm forward and the other hand picks up. Circles around to the side. Breathing in. And exhale, circling forward, or just bring the hand back up the way that you did the first time. Okay, so elbows draw back, belly button draws forward, open heart to the ceiling. And exhale, rounding through the back. I'll just move myself to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So as my elbows draw back and as my hands slide back on my thighs, my belly button is drawing forward and my shoulders are peeling back and I'm arching through my back, looking up to the ceiling. Be careful of dropping the head too far back. We want to keep this sense of length through the back of the neck. And as we breathe out, the hands slide down to the knees and we round through our back, chin comes to the chest. Inhale, belly button draws forward. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One last round. And then coming back to straight spine. We'll make sure that we've got our blocks or our books underneath our feet again. And we'll just do a bit of work through our feet and our knees. So as we inhale, we'll come up onto the ball of our foot. Lift the heel as much as you can away from the floor. Spread the toes wide. And exhale, drop the heel down to the floor. As you inhale, lift the heel of the foot. And really feel as though you're articulating through all of the little muscles in the feet. Moving one bone after the next. Exhale, dropping the heel down to the floor. Inhale, rising up onto the ball of the foot. And exhale, dropping the heel. Other side. And exhale, dropping the heel. So this time, option to take it one step further, coming up onto the ball of the foot, coming onto the toe of the foot, pressing the ball of the foot down, then dropping the heel. Other side, ball of the foot, coming up onto the toe, ball of the foot, and heel. And we'll just go like this a couple more times on each side. And we'll start to coordinate that with our breath and tune into the details of how your foot is moving. And only come up onto the toe if it feels comfortable. You can just stick with lifting the heel and then dropping it down, other heel and down. Do one more round on each side. Relaxing the feet for a moment, tuning into any new and subtle sensations. And then we'll open our eyes. As we inhale, extend the left leg, heel the toe back towards the torso, spread the toes wide. As you exhale, we'll point the toes and bend the knee, bring the foot back to the starting point. Inhale. Heel the toes back towards the torso, point the toe, and then relax the foot down. We'll do 3 more rounds on each side. Heel the toes back, point the toes, and then bring the foot back to the beginning point. We inhale as we bring the leg up and bring the toes back. And we're exhaling as we return to our starting point. finishing off there. Keeping your eyes closed for a moment, just tune into any sensation through the knees, through the ankles, through the feet. Notice how you're feeling different. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes. So we'll come into a chair version of warrior pose, warrior 2. And we'll just start by rotating our left leg out to the side. So you can sort of position yourself so that you're facing one corner of the chair and you're bringing this left leg around to the side as much as you can. Start to slide the other leg back. So you might need to keep it forward a little bit, and that's fine, and you can keep that knee bent a little bit, but the idea is to try and externally rotate the hips as much as possible. If you can, you might be able to bring the leg around to the other side of your chair and face the toes inwards or out to the side. So we're either somewhere like this, or we're something like this. But as long as there's this sense that the hips are opening out, that's perfectly fine. So from here, we're going to extend our arms out in the same line that our legs are. So if you're in this position, my left arm will extend out in the same line as my front leg, and this arm will extend out in the same angle as this leg. I want to keep my arms at a beautiful horizontal line, and there's a sense my shoulders are pressing down and my fingertips are spreading away from my center line. If my leg's all the way back here, and I've got this flat line happening down my body, my arms will reflect that and they'll be tracing that line. Shoulders will press down and fingers will press away from each other. And let's hold for 3 more breaths. Last deep inhale. We exhale, relax the arms down through the center. Bring the arms up over the head. And exhale, bring it into warrior 2 for 1 more breath. Exhale, release the arms, and then we'll come around to the other side. So we'll come around, so now my right leg is coming straight out to the side and my left leg can either face forward and we just extend it out a little bit, or I'm bringing this leg behind, and again I'm finding this shape where my back toe is coming forward or in on a 45-degree angle. And then my arms trace the same line as my legs. Here. Something like this. Shoulders draw down. There's a sense the fingertips are drawing away from each other. Keep breathing. Shoulders press down. 1 more breath. Relax the arms down for a moment. Inhale, bring the arms up over the head for a breath. Exhale, back to that horizontal line. Take a full breath here, and exhale, release the arms down by the side, and we'll bring the legs to face forward again. Give the legs a bit of a shake out if you need to. Okay, good. So I hope you're all feeling good after that. I think we'll start to wind down into a little relaxation now. So we'll close our eyes and just start to feel as though we're grounding down through our sit bones. Start to find that length through the spine to the crown of the head again. Feel the shoulders relaxing down away from the ears. And we'll come back to a little body scan, but this time instead of focusing on relaxing certain parts, I want you to focus on just observing what you're noticing now that you didn't notice before. So it could just be this sense that certain joints are feeling a little bit more freedom. It could be that after tuning inwards for 45 minutes that you're just noticing more. You might be noticing more of your pulse or your heartbeat, more nervy sensations. Keep scanning through to notice what feels new or different. Also notice if you're feeling any changes energetically. We'll let that deeper breath settle back into our natural breath if we haven't already. And just notice if the rhythm of our natural breath is feeling any different to how we observed it at the start of our practice. Hopefully there's a little bit more depth than before. It might be noticeable, it might be so subtle that it's not. And that's okay, it's just important to observe and notice how the practice of yoga is affecting us. And then for the last moment, we'll focus on one little detail to focus our attention on. So it could be the pulse at one fingertip, or it could be one tiny little sensation. It could be the heartbeat, or it could be one little sensation of the breath. And we'll just see if we can keep our mind there on that one little detail for a couple more moments. This is like training for our mind so that our mind starts to become more focused and aware. And even though we're practicing this in our class, again, it translates and affects how we are in our day-to-day life. And gradually we start to enjoy the present moment a little bit more rather than being caught up in what we need to do later or what happened last week. The present moment, that is the place where we truly live. And then now we'll bring our attention away from that internal detail, but still practicing staying anchored in the present moment. We'll just start to notice our outside surrounds, the external sensations, things like the temperature of the air on our skin or certain smells or sounds. Notice what's happening around you in this moment. And then when you feel ready to move, you can just start by wiggling the fingertips and toes, bringing slow movement back into our body. And before you open your eyes, you might like to stretch the arms up over the head. Feel length, extend down the torso, relax the arms by the side. Maybe give the shoulders a little bit of a lift and drop them down, or roll the shoulders back a couple of times. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So thank you for practicing with me today. Hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions or anything that popped up, please feel free to send me a message. Hopefully you're all in the Facebook group, so you can ask me there or private message me. But otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.